You're gonna have to choose him or me. That's what somebody said to me this weekend. And for context, this was an older gentleman who is interested in me, right? A gay guy. Fine, cool, whatever. But the reason he was saying this is because he felt a bit jealous that I was there talking with another friend of mine, a guy, and not showing him the same interest in that way. And the point I'm going to get to, the bottom line up front, is that in becoming more social, I have first extremely noticed how I am better able to handle, let's call it stressful situations, in a way that many others are not able to handle them. Right? I can handle them more calmly. They don't affect me as much. Kind of rolls off my back. But with this particular guy, seen him out a number of times. He works at like the venue I go to most often, right? So we've had a number of different conversations. Nice guy, cool guy, all good, right? But in seeing me talk to other people, he's kind of shared that sentiment before, right? And particularly got upset one night I was there and made out with the young woman in the club. And, next time I saw him, shared his frustrations about that, right? He isn't the only one it's happened to, though, right? Also, out yesterday, there'd been this woman that had showed her interest the week before, right? Reached out to connect. I'll even go into that story a little bit more first, right? We have like a little conversation, and in the conversation, right, I pick up that she's interested first in just the quality and depth of the eye contact, right? And like the physical proximity. So leaning in close, deep eye contact, and even then sometimes softly whispering in my ear to communicate, right? Getting a little bit closer. More intimate setting. And it was like, okay, she's into me. I think she's an attractive woman. All good, right? She asked to exchange Instagrams. Then, immediately after exchanging Instagrams with me, though, she does this on the way out. Hey, I want to keep in touch. Let's exchange Instagrams. But then also turns to someone else right after doing it with me, exchanges Instagram with that person. So, to the extent that maybe it would have been like, oh, I really like you, Jamal. Let's stay in touch. Then also does something to like distance herself from maybe that sentiment coming through by doing it with another person, a woman right in front of me. And I didn't take offense to that. It was like, okay, she was still interested. She still wanted to connect with me. But, if I'm maybe reading into it, also is like, I don't want to just be so forward, so upfront that I'm only exchanging Instagram with you, this guy. I'm also going to do it with this other person as well. And like, again, no bother to me, right? In the past, I maybe would have taken that a little bit more harshly, but in going out, talking to a lot of different people, showing interest, not always having that reciprocated back or reciprocated back in the, exclusive, put me first, make me the number one priority sort of way. It's kind of like, all right, whatever. It's happened before, will happen again. I've gotten more used to it, right? So, did that the week before, run into her this time, the next week, following up. We have some conversations. Also, what happens with her, I'm there talking with her for several minutes, right? Not quite the same leaning in close intimacy as before. I think part of that was because after she reached out, we exchanged a couple messages back and forth. She shared that she wanted to connect more, And my response was kind of like, look forward to the next time I get to see you, right? It was not a, well, hey, let's meet up for a date, or tell me when you're free and doing something, or let me invite you to this place, right? Let's go do something one-on-one. Let's connect more. Let's book a time and get together. My response was more of like, hey, I liked you, enjoy the conversation, and look forward to the next time I get to talk to you. But I'm also not going to take this step of let's get together one-on-one, right? And I'll get to that point a little bit later. The other, like, back to the point where I'm talking to her, conversation not quite as warm as the week before, again, because I feel like she maybe was a little bit like, hey, I like this guy, showed him I'm interested. He didn't quite bite in the way that I wanted to. And so now that I'm seeing him again, not quite sure if it's really going to be the connection that I wanted. And so let me take a step back, right? But we're still talking, still having a good conversation. She gets a drink of water from a water bottle, right? Aluminum water bottle that she brought to the venue. This venue is at a bar slash club sort of thing, right? Where they sell drinks, where they have water themselves. One of the staff members that's working there comes by and says, hey, you're not allowed to have that bottle here. She's like, okay, I'm gonna put it away. He's like, no, actually, we're gonna have to take it downstairs. You want me to take it down? She's like, no. I want to hold on to my stuff. He's like, well, it does have to go downstairs. I do have to insist. You know, these are the rules here. It's like, no, I'll take it down, right? She gets a little bit agitated, right? And this is someone who is very much into meditation, very much into energy flow and positivity, and has even spent some time with Buddhist monks, right? Meditating and kind of honing that inner peace. Yet, in this situation where staff members like, you can't have that here, I'm either gonna have to take it away or you're gonna have to take it away yourself, but it's not allowed to be here. The agitation showed through, right? And again, that's normal. Been in those situations before, but I'm also going to contrast that with myself out couple of weeks before at that same venue. Walk up and the staff member says, hey, the shirt that you're wearing is actually not allowed. I had it on a soccer jersey. It's like, we don't allow jerseys in here. It's like, okay, right? It happened to be the day of a USA soccer game, right? During the World Cup. So I'm like, I'm sure many people are going to be wearing soccer jerseys. And like, I've even been in that venue multiple times before, enough to see other people on with soccer jerseys. So like, I'm kind of being singled out, right? Or could have taken it that way. Being singled out as, hey, you're not allowed to have that here. It's like, cool, you know, no worries. I'll head on out. He's like, well, you know, again, this is even a guy that I've talked to many times before, had a rapport with, we exchanged names, had conversations a number of times. Like, he literally works at the front door, so pretty much every time I come in, end up saying something to him on the way in. But that night, a little more of a, let's say, less than super friendly, chill, outward kind of interaction with me. But hey, I'm like, okay. So, you know, okay, I'll, you know, I don't want to break the rules. I understand. I'll head out. It's like, you know, I'm not telling you to leave. I'll let you in this time, you know, because I know you. But just for future reference, we don't allow the jerseys. I'm like, fine, cool. But, you know, no worries. Like, I actually have another shirt that's in my car. I'll walk there, come back, and, you know, be in something different that's allowed, right? The only shirt I had was a long sleeve shirt that's a medium, right? Too tight. It's in the middle of summer, like, 85 plus degrees at that time. Long sleeve shirt, but switch to the long sleeve shirt, go back in, end up having a good time that night, right? And the thing was, like, although it happened and like in the moment, I was a little like, this doesn't leave me feeling like super great. But at the same time, it was like, I'm not going to let this affect me and bring down my night, right? I came out to have a good time. I came out to exude and cultivate a good mood, and I am not going to let this somewhat negative incident bring me down. Been out trying to have a good time, cultivate and exude a good mood many times before, and working to be social. And so I've had the experience of having to deal with these minor setbacks. Maybe it's people not being so nice to me when I tried to start the conversation with them or whatever else. But contrast that with the reaction of this woman, and it was like, okay, the difference was in how we handled it, how we reacted to the adversity of the situation. Similar situation, that isn't allowed here. Things have to change. I work here at the venue. I am going to enforce this change. Handle it, okay, no big deal. I'll comply. She handled it with a little bit more agitation, right? And the point was that we've both done work to cultivate an inner peace, to cultivate a good mood, to cultivate a high vibe. But the meditation compared to the going out, being social, putting yourself in these high pressure environments of the social situations, of trying to make connections and it not happening, ended up contributing to us reacting to the similar situation in slightly different ways, right? I was able to brush it off, go out, have a good time in the same way that she was not, right? Later on that same day, after having a little conversation with her, so actually, like, right after that happens with the security guy, I'm like, she's like, okay, well, I'm gonna go downstairs and take the stuff down myself, right? I say to her, I'll walk with you. We get up, start to walk out. Very soon, she, on the way out, starts engaging in a conversation with another guy. Cool. I thought you and I were walking out one-on-one. You start talking to someone else. No big deal for me. I'm gonna keep doing my own thing. I keep walking, end up going down, whatever. Come back up, start being social, start talking to other people, including talking to several other women there. See her kind of noticing me, talking to the other women, and again, maybe not having the same high vibe as I have observed with her in the same way in other times, right? On the way out, she makes a point of saying, goodbye, Jamal, I'm gonna leave now. I'm like, okay, come over to talk to her. She kind of, stops me. I'm like, oh, I was just gonna give you a hug on the way out. She's like, no, I don't want a hug. It's like, okay, no big deal. I hope you have a good day then. Go back to dancing, like, keep the smile on my face. Not a big deal for me, right? Like, again, been in the situation before. We'd hugged several times in the past. We hugged earlier that day. But this time, no, I don't want to do that. Like, all right, I get it. Understand. Not going to let it affect me. Not going to let it bring down my mood. I keep it moving, right? Whereas I feel like she, after having observed me in the conversations with other women, particularly after showing some interest in me, was a bit like, hey, I thought maybe you and I would connect in a deeper way, see you talking to these other people, And as a way of kind of protecting myself, I'm going to set this boundary to say no, no hugs. Still say goodbye, but we're not that close anymore. And like, I get it. You've heard me in these other videos talk about how I've been talking to someone, they walk off, and my reaction is like, oh, okay, well, didn't quite understand why it happened, but like, all right, keep it moving. It's happened to me before. I know it will happen again. So like, I've had the opportunity to practice that situation and practice my reaction, kind of hone a better reaction to that situation, because I have chosen to go out, be social, show interest in others in a way that many, many others have not. Again, my point in bringing this up is that working on your social skills and doing it in a way where you are in these environments, showing your interest in others, making yourself vulnerable by starting the conversation, by asking for follow-up, by trying to make a connection happen, right? Putting yourself out there, that prepares you for adverse situations in a way that I have not seen or experienced other things prepare you, right? I am a big supporter of meditation. You've heard me talk about it in other videos. But the meditation alone does not prepare you for these situations where you're standing right in front of someone, being vulnerable, opening up, putting yourself out there in the same way that working on your social skills does, going to the bars and the clubs. So, like, comparing my reaction in this situation to hers, it was like, I like the way I reacted better than I like the way she reacted. However, I would have and have reacted like I have had her reaction in the past, and probably to an even greater extent. So it's not like looking down on her, oh, shame, shame. Like, not even that sort of thing. Just more of like an appreciation that I have chosen this path of developing my own social skills. And the point I'm even getting to is that it's more than just developing social skills. It is developing a resilience, developing an optimism, developing a positivity that is quite rare, quite unique, and quite impressive, right? In comparing myself and how I reacted to she did, I actually felt a bit proud of myself, because it was like, I empathized, like, okay, I can see how in that situation, someone's saying, I'm gonna have to take that away from you. And it's like, it's a freaking water bottle, dude. You're gonna have to take it away? Like, I can see how that would be upsetting. Showing an interest in someone, not having it reciprocated in the way that you want, I can see how that would be upsetting. But I also see how I have developed a resilience that has allowed me to navigate these situations in a positive way. Same thing with the gay security guy, right? The gay staff member at the venue, right? Saw me talking to someone else, or saw me kissing a different woman, got upset, right? Like you, Jamal, thought maybe we could have something, but see you out talking to these other people, see you kissing this girl, you're gonna have to choose. And it's like, while I hear you and understand where you're coming from, I don't think they quite understand where I am coming from. And like, they don't have to. But the thing is, I very much value the resilience, the ability to have fun in any environment, the ability to be social, to meet new people, to make connections, the ability to attract people to where they want to connect with you in a deeper way, that I have been cultivating, right? It's more than just being validated from being the cool, attractive guy, right? It's also like the therapy from being able to deal and like work through challenges, right? It's also the fun from being able to be in an environment that used to make me anxious and uncomfortable and now is like a bit of a playground, right? And so like it's the ability to connect with others in a way that opens up new opportunities that can even lead to like a completely different lifestyle, and at the very least different higher quality of life. So for me, like in her own sort of way, you could have chosen me, but now you're choosing to talk to these other people, and I don't like that. Or with the other guy, you could have chosen me, but you're choosing to talk to this person or kiss that person, and so now I'm upset. Like, you're gonna have to choose them or choose me. It's kind of like, from my view, what I'm choosing is to continue to develop this skill set that is so valuable, right? It's even this skill set that I'm sure played a role in you liking me, being attracted to me, and even like knowing who I am. Because before, like, I wouldn't even have been going out. I would have been at home doing some solo activity, right? Playing video games, watching the videos, watching the TV, smoking the weed, like something at home, not even being out. You wouldn't even have known who I was if I had not been developing this skill set. And so I think that's like underappreciated for myself sometimes, until I like see these situations, see how I have reacted in the past, see how other people react, and I'm like, I'm glad I'm doing it this way. And underappreciated on their end of like, you see me here and now, but you wouldn't have seen me before. And if you had seen me before, you wouldn't have liked me in the same way, because I was not the same person, right? I've grown, evolved, matured, developed, come into the new me in a way that has magnetized you to me. And so it's not a thing of like, you're going to have to choose me or this other person that you're maybe interested in. For my mind, it's a thing of, I'm going to have to choose myself or choose you, right? I'm going to have to choose my own continued development, my own continued fun, my own continued peace from continuing to be social, continuing to talk to many people, or I'm going to have to choose you. And like, the choosing you doesn't come with those same benefits, right? Like, maybe it will if the relationship were to get to a certain point and, you know, in the future we blah, 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 blah. But like right now, looking back, you ain't done shit for me. To put it bluntly, like, you haven't. And again, it's not even like a put down. It's not a, you know, not a put down. Like, it's just the reality. Like, we've talked, we've enjoyed each other's company, but in terms of helping me develop, you haven't done it for me at all, and won't be in the near term. So do I continue being social, working on that skill set to develop myself, to grow these skills, to improve my quality of life? Or do I choose you and maybe improve the quality of life later on as the things that I'm focusing on, the way I'm spending my time would change because of the time being spent with you instead of doing other things. And like, the thing is, it doesn't even have to be one or the other. It could be I'm going out, continuing to be social, meet someone, like them, work towards a relationship with them, and continue being social outside of that relationship. Or maybe they're out with me, we're both out at the venue, I'm still being social and still spending time in the relationship with them, right? Maybe even being social with them. So the point is, like, the social skill development is so much more than just social skills, right? It is personal development. It is an active, potent form of personal development. It is a type of personal development that builds resilience, high vibe nature in a way that many other forms of personal development that I like, that I practice myself, don't do, right? The affirmations don't do it in the same way. The meditation doesn't do it in the same way. The reading the books, listening to the podcasts, watching the content, don't do it in the same way, right? That real, like, growth, that real transformation, that real development comes from being in these situations where I'm opening up, being vulnerable, putting myself out there, facing the rejections, having to deal with them, and that whole process is like forging a better, stronger me. So that's not something that I'm going to give up for a relationship, particularly when, like, it's early on and don't even know the other person that well to, like, see the benefits of a relationship with them if it would mean giving up that time being social. The better option, instead of having to choose the social skills, the them, or this person, is both, right? And like, that is the thing that I am trying to work toward cultivating more, because it's not just these two people. It's happened like a number of times, right? Maybe if you've seen some of the other videos, you saw me talking about the last girl I dated, where she wanted to spend more time with me. I was kind of saying, no, I feel like the time we're spending together is enough, and then ended up breaking it off with her because I realized what she wanted, this more in-depth one-on-one time, is something that I was not able or willing to give her at that moment. If she'd been more understanding and said, hey, well, we're just going to have to take things slower until you are able to, so you're willing to step away from this social stuff for the relationship a little bit more, then we could have progressed. If it had been more of, well, how do we keep this relationship going while you're able to still work toward your own personal development by going out and being social, would have been able to keep the relationship going. So the thing that's been on my mind most recently is, like, what can I do to have both, right? To have the more in-depth relationship where I'm spending the time with people and also continuing to be out, be social, meeting more people, meeting more of them, right? And like, in going out, being social, like, I have the ability to tone it down, right? I can tone down the flirting, right? I can not do things that turn up the dial, right? I cannot do the leaning in, the talking in your ear. I cannot do the, hey, let's follow up. I cannot do the, little physical contact to raise the temperature, right? I can tone down those things, still work to be social without it being romantic or, trying to get the other person attracted to me. But if I have to choose, I am going to choose to continue my own development, right? I feel like I certainly have to put myself first And even the reason it's like, part of it's sure is a selfish thing of like, I'm doing what I feel is best for me, but I also feel like it's part of like my purpose in life right now, right? I feel like my, part of the reason I'm on this earth is to become the best version of me so that I can contribute to a better world by bringing my fullest self to the table. And this is helping me develop into my fullest self. And so, sure, it's selfish of like, I'm gonna do what's best for me. Gotta look out for number one. But it's also like, hey, I'm doing this for a greater purpose, right? I'm doing this to reach the world in a way that I would not be able to otherwise, right? I'm doing this for you all out there watching these YouTube videos, right? And so if I have to choose myself and the greater world and you all watching the videos, or someone who's maybe a bit attractive, but would prevent me from reaching you all, from fulfilling my full potential in the same way, I'm choosing you guys, right? And that is what it is, right? I'm not apologizing for that. I would even like to speak to that more directly, which is part of why I'm making this video, is that gonna have to choose him or me, gonna have to choose her or me. Like, the thing I'm thinking is the better option than choosing this or that is this and that. And so that's what we should be working towards if we're actually going to make things work. So I hope in sharing this, it's been motivational to get out there and improve your social skills, because the benefits go way beyond just being social. I also hope that it showed that there will be conflicts that arise, right? There will be some people that maybe get a little bit upset that I was talking to you, things were going well, I was hoping we could move forward, but then you're talking to these other people, and now I see you talking to these other people, I'm a little bit jealous or upset, or feel like I've made myself vulnerable and gotten burned. And I'm not out to leave a trail of burnt bridges, right? Not out, it's not my intention to make the woman or the guy upset. However, also, what I would hope is that, one, they're able to observe their own reactions and say, maybe I could do things differently in the future so that I react better in the future. And or say, well, if I still like this person, what can I do to continue kind of developing the connection in a way that they are comfortable with, right? And that's even what I'm asking myself. I like these people, but want to be able to develop the connection in a way that I am comfortable with. And so that's what's been on my mind. I think the first thing I can do, share my perspective, right? Share what's important to me. Let them know that this will continue to be a priority. I like to get to know you, like to explore the connection, but this is a priority. With the guy's case, we've had a number of different conversations, and I've actually told him several times about how I am going out, working to be more social, was more introverted, feel like this has given me so much. And so to get the feedback of you're going to have to stop doing that if you want to, have more of a thing with me, is first, I don't think we were ever going to have that sort of thing. I'm not quite interested in you that way, but even putting that aside, think like sometimes people are in different places, right? And so I think this path that I have chosen, I know this path that I have chosen is quite abnormal, quite uncommon, right? But it is something that is important to me. And so I got to share it, got to let people know this is important to me. I'm not going to apologize for it. I'm not going to make excuses for it. I'm going to own it. Let them know. If they accept that, great. Let's find a way to make it work where I can still do these things that are important to me and you can still do the things that are important to you. And again, I'm not going to do things to intentionally hurt you, but I also want to make sure that, like, my own needs are being met. That is what it is. So, gonna keep working on that because, like I say, it's happened with these two, happened many times before, and it happening repeatedly is a sign for me that, like, haven't quite figured out a way to make it work. If it keeps happening again and again, the benefit of it keep continuing to happen again and again is that, like, it is giving me opportunities to do things a little bit differently, to try this out in a different way, see if it works better. Try this approach, see if it works better. Try this approach, see if it works better. So, like, again, where before maybe I would have been more frustrated that, like, man, this keeps happening. Why don't people understand me? Even when I told them, they don't understand what's going wrong. Like, instead of that, it's more of a thing of like, okay, hasn't happened, but now that it's happened, hasn't happened the way that I want it, but now that I'm in the same situation again, I have another opportunity to practice. I have another opportunity to take a different approach. And so I'm grateful for that. Grateful for these interactions. Grateful for meeting these people. Grateful to myself for getting out there, being social. Grateful to you all for tuning in. I wish you the very best, and I love you. Take care.